All right, all right. Can you guys hear me? I had to switch over
Yes,
platforms
sir.
here. There we go. All right. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to the Bill Korman's Mindset Revolution show. Brand new year. Man, 2026. I can't believe it. Well, yeah, exciting show for you guys today. A couple really, actually, one major topic, but a couple check-ins as we wrapped up 2025. A couple of things that we had challenge you guys with that. So many of you that jump on here regularly had taken the challenge, the one thing, right? Focus on that one thing. Guess what we're going to challenge you with again in 2026? Focus on the one thing, right? So we've talked about New Year's resolutions. Do they work? They don't work. Obviously, the show we had for you guys last week was focused on that. So I wanted to we're going to take a deeper dive in that today, even more, but more from a perspective of how do you crush 2026, right? What are the things that you need to do if you want to win in 2026? We're going to talk about that today. So just to do a real quick check-in, anybody that wants to unmute and check in on your one thing, how do you feel your wrap up was for 2025? And what is the one thing? Again, you can switch it, right? This is a time for when you're doing your strategic plan, not New Year's resolution, strategic plan. One of the things you have to look at is that maybe you need some clarity on that one thing. Maybe it's not refined enough, or there's no emotion attached to it. We're going to talk about that today. Emotion attached to that one thing. There's no emotion attached to it, then it's just something you're just doing, right? And hoping that the best works out and maybe you'll see a little bit of improvement, but overall it's not working. Okay, overall it's not going to work. So whoever wants to go first, I would love to hear from you. How 2025, what was your one thing? Your gratitude journal, how are you doing on that? And then we'll jump into our topic for today.
I'll go. Uh, and Happy New Year to everybody. It's good to see our family. Um, my one thing was to become more familiar with the CRM, and I think I have accomplished that. I've spent some more time with Maddie, and we've got my calendar set up, so I think I'm good to go. I read the 12-week year. I sat down and made my goals. I have my vision, I have my plan, and then I picked up this. And the science of scaling. And now I need to redo everything and make those goals impossible goals and go from selling one policy a week to selling at least five a week. And so I'm going to redo everything that I had previously done, but that's okay because you learn as you go. And I'm so excited to be on this journey. So my gratitude journal, I'm not writing anything down, which is unusual for me, but I'll get to that. That is a must do for this year. And I have a clearer vision of where I want to be this year, what I want to do, and changes are coming.
I love it. So you see what we actually stacked those things on, right? Because the 12-week year was a precursor to the science of scaling, right? So that was the whole idea. So the gratitude journal, like this is mine. What I would recommend for everybody is that you put it somewhere where you normally end your day, right? So on your nightstand, maybe in the bathroom, and it's literally something as you can put one line, two lines. What'll happen is if you put one line, it'll lead to two lines, and then it'll lead to three lines. And then instead of you just saying, literally just putting on there one or two things you're grateful for the day, you'll start to actually summarize your day and plan, and then eventually it'll become your memoirs, right? You'll be able to look back on what actually happened, what you went through, how you persevered. It starts that simple. One sentence, I'm grateful for, boom. And that's it. And then it'll start to evolve. It could again, put it wherever your nighttime routine is. You brush your teeth, put it in the bathroom, your nightstand, and then what'll happen is you see it and you go, what? You know what? I think I can do that. Bill said just put one sentence. That's it. Like I'm not gonna because a lot of times we're like, oh my God, what did I really do today? What was, do I want to put that in there? Oh, maybe that's a little too personal. What if somebody literally just one sentence? I'm grateful for it, and then just put it in. So Diana, awesome. And I'm excited because you guys are going to see as we're going to actually today, we're going to talk about the 12-week year, how that relates to crushing it in 2026. And then we'll talk a little bit about the science of scaling. So you're right on track. All right. Who wants to go next?
All right, I can go next, everyone. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope everyone had a great holiday season. I certainly did. Me and my family had a little get together here at the home, so it was pretty amazing. I loved every part of it. So as far as the one thing that I've been hyper focused on, especially towards the end of 2025, was to establish a plan, a strategy, and also impart some new things that I have not tried out. Some things that I've took from the 168 game, some things that I've gone to YouTube University on, and just adapted a habit tracker. And one thing that I wanted to implement so that it can keep me steady, especially now that I'm not with the job anymore, full time into this business. And so I just want to make some significant changes throughout 2026. And then as far as the grateful journal, now I have the pleasure of not only doing it myself consistently every single day, but also now I have a family grateful journal. And so my family is starting to doing it with me. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have.
Man, I love that, brother. Getting the family involved. That's on a whole nother level. Start them off right and teach them that forming that habit that will change many, many things in their life because one of the things that the world teaches us is that this hyper focus around all this stuff that's happening to me. Couple mindsets, changes that we've worked on here with the show is that how about looking at things are happening through me, not to me, right? They're happening through me because I'm working on changing, transforming to become the person I was meant to be all along. And the other thing is that with gratitude, it helps us take a step back and say, you know what? It isn't all about me, right? And we get to it helps us to get out of that cycle, right? That the world is living in today, this hyper cycle of these things are happening, good things happen. Oh, great, it's supposed to happen more. Then something bad happens, we get in a cycle like, woe is me, why me? So that I love the fact that you've got your whole family involved in it, and the fact that you've gone through from the 168 game to onto implementing that and some other stuff. So that's awesome.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen. Congrats. All right. Who wants to go next? So just we had a couple, one or two people that's joined in. So what we're asking everybody to check in, what's the one thing that you committed to last year that we had you focusing on? Are you getting more clarity around that specific thing this year? How are you getting clarity around it? Also, and how are you doing on your gratitude journal? And if you haven't started it, what is your commitment to starting your gratitude journal? One of the things that we mentioned was put your gratitude journal where you end your nighttime routine. So it's a bathroom, brushing your teeth. It's on your nightstand. Maybe you do some meditation, some reading before you go to bed. Put your gratitude journal there and then just start with one sentence. I'm grateful for fill in the blank, and that's it. So, all right, who wants to go next?
Yes, I'm up. Hey, good morning, BFL, and
Morning, good
wishing you a
morning.
happy New Year's 2026. It's going to be an awesome adventure. So, the one thing I focused on primarily was as we discussed before, setting the time aside, just like you've just said about your vision, your goals, getting clarity, getting everything. And I previously would do that throughout the day, but the one thing I changed was I'll start my day. And that's why you refer to my question, you see my post and things to our community is that it's called the Power Hour, and I specifically set aside 1 hour and focus strictly on the things that my mind is at, my gratitude, count my blessings. And if you ever try to count your blessings for a whole hour, imagine that. And it opens up your mind to such creativity. And like you were just saying, it starts your stories. The stories start coming, the right things. Uh, and not only has it given me clarity, but it's expanded my view, my mind even much more up and beyond. Spend that time in prayer, worship, gratitude, family, relationships, clarity of purpose. Just when you take the time, sometimes 5, 10 minutes isn't enough for everyone. And so I think each individual finds what is for them, which works for them, and which it worked for me before, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, start my day, end my day. But this focus has been primarily, I spend that hour to start my day, and it's made a dramatic change, not in my view. Plus, plus the journal is on the nightstand, but there's also one in the office, there's one in the bathroom, there's one in the car. I used to carry on booklets, my professional life, where there was always something in my pocket. And it's because I started having to write down my thoughts when things strike me and write them down so I can go back and think of them later in the course of a day. Because those special things that not only spark my curiosity in my mind, that also hit my heart and are very meaningful. If I don't write them down, I might not remember them. So even if it's just one sentence in a day, you can always go back and spend the time. But when something moves you, hits you, etc., and I just summarize it as it's getting in touch with who I am, what my passions are, what God reveals to me, and that's changing so many things in different areas of my life. You know, not only how I view my life, but I view my life with others, and it's amazing what you start sharing with others and how others you can connect with. And a just simple example, it's easier for me to you ask me questions than me just sharing outright, but the circle of friends that my children have and getting to see some of them over the holidays and interacting with them, except, and just it slips out some of these conversations, things I'm thinking about and things that they're relating with them, who they are as individuals and having those relationships. There's a group of men from my children's circles, young people in college and young entrepreneurs and professionals and etc., who now developing those relationships and currents. They've also added a new name to my nickname list, and I'm also referred to as Pops a lot now.
There you go. That's a good
which
one.
is a
That's
blessing, which is a blessing to me. And from those circles, even people I've just recently met, which I'll be inviting to this program too, other professionals, other people that I've met. It's like, hey, you share things differently than our conversations we get in. And where does it come from? And I refer to this special group that I'm a part of, which is this mindset revolution, an individual and group of individuals who serve and care for others, and who love our families and who have love, I love others. So in service, find out, focus on my message today is who do you love? Who do you care about? Who do you want to serve? And just courageous, be strong, courageous.
that's
Let's share. We
exactly
have a world to impact, and it happens just one person at a time.
my favorite name today. My favorite name I get called is Pops. So PJ, my granddaughter calls me Pops.
He
So
calls you Pops too?
yeah, Pops is it, man. That's
Or
a great
Popsy.
name. Yeah, it's my favorite name now be called Pop. So awesome, brother. So I'm excited. One thing I would say is we as we move into 2026, you're gonna see when we get into the lesson for today is the habit of that the discipline creates the habits. Habits create discipline. They're interchangeable in the journey that we go on. So that being intentional about everything we do. We're going to talk about that today, and that's why it starts. It's interesting because Kimberly sent a video this morning to Dr. Stephen Crane and I. I'm not going to share with here. The guy used a couple bad words, but the point is this: why is it? Why is it today? Like, for example, why do we need this show? Right? If you're a human being, you said you're going to do something. Why do we need Bill Korman's mindset revolution? Right? Why do we need all this getting ready to do this and check off list of that or this thing? Why is it if it came out of our mouth and we said we're going to do it, why don't we just go do it? We're going to talk about that today because I mean, and the guy made so much sense. It was just like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. If you said you were going to do it, why does somebody need to motivate you? Why do we have motivational speakers? What's the point? We know motivation is crap. We've all, saw that in our lives improving. When you come out of an amazing conference, all the years I spent in network marketing, come out of these conferences, you're flying on cloud nine, and then sometimes the plane doesn't land, it crashes, right? So why? Why is it that we have become a culture society where we need all these outside incentives and people to motivate us and this to encourage that and this to check in and all? Why? We're going to talk about that as we go on the journey today. Because if you just look back, I was doing some research for this specific topic from the book, The 12-Week Year. We're going to talk about that from this book, The Science of Scaling. Do you know that we're going to have to go back to the 1950s? And 79% of men and women in the 1950s did 90% of what they said they were going to do. You know that? They didn't need motivational speakers. They didn't need this journal, this book, this app, this encouragement. I mean, I'm just, that's what the science says, right? It's, Dr. Crane loves to make fun of me. I always say it's irrefutable math and science. So just the 1950s, right? Not everybody, but a very, very high percentage of people just did what they said they were going to do. What happened? We're going to unpack that a little bit. All right. So who wants to go next? Just a little teaser about what we're talking about.
I did want to throw something in there because that was one of the things that really hit me in the 12-week year when he said, you can have accountability partners, but if you are not committed to it yourself, there's something wrong. You need to make the commitment to yourself. You need to hold yourself accountable. And that was like, yeah.
You're exactly right. I had a conversation with one of our, so you guys know we own multiple companies. So I had a conversation with one of my agents, actually two over this last week. One with an individual that works in one of our other companies that has it said some things that they're going to do and some sales goals and things like that. The other one's a company is one of our agents in Built for Life Financial Agency. And between both of them, the conversation was similar. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I registered for this course. I'm taking this thing and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like, and I thought about it. I was like, yeah, we spend a lot of time unpacking, putting together the actual numbers and talk. Sure, you need key performance indicators. You need goals and targets and things like that. You need measurable outcomes. But to get to those things, right? We said we were going to do it. If you don't like your bank account, right? This is what I'm giving the financial services side with like Built for Life Financial Agency, again, one of the companies. If you don't like your bank account or you need money or you want out of your job and you have a license, what else do you need? Like, what is wrong? Like, you have a license. You did the hard part. You studied, passed the test. You got a license to go write business, to help people, right? Why do you need some extra app and service and technology and encouragement, and more training? You don't need any of that stuff. You said you wanted more money. Go make more money, right? So again, it's a simple thing to say. What's the psychology behind it? And then how do we eventually flip that switch where we literally all we have to do is just rewind the script back to the 1950s. So we'll talk about that. All right. Anybody else want to share about 2025 and where you're headed?
I'll go next. So 2025, I joined BFL. I want to say September, like late September. That's when I finally got my license. I know you reached out. I was at the first event, the first Zoom, the cutting ribbon. Yeah, I remember that. I think that was July or something like that. But I would say 2025 has been pretty okay for me. Back in the game, I just actually got off the call with Columbus Life and placed my first policy, so I'm getting things going. And as far as the recruiting side, I put some stuff up on LinkedIn as job applications, and people are starting to respond to it. So I got some people that in the pipeline. It's like, man, okay, just getting back into the rhythm, getting back into the feel, and there's weeks where sometimes you might not even get the result you're looking for, but it's okay. It's the activity behind it, and are you, staying motivated when times are tough. And 2025 was kind of tough. It was really rough, but doesn't mean 2026 needs to stay that way also. So as far as the journaling, you know what, guys? I don't even journal. I don't have a journal. I might write notes on my phone that I do a lot, like stuff that I eat. What I notice is that I do have a lot of pictures and I can go back on those pictures and it's either I could tell whether it was a good day or a bad day. I could tell by the kind of pictures that I take. I'm like, oh man, today was not a good one. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually practice having a journal now or writing stuff in. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And yeah, I'm just gonna try to be better, a better father, better, better to my friends, better to everyone. Try to see if I could be more charitable. I was looking back at what I did for charity, and I'm happy with it, but I also think that I can do more. So like what Bill was saying, well, if you don't like your bank account, I don't like my bank account and I don't want to stay at my job. So what am I waiting for? And it goes back to he said something that really pushed my buttons. Where you think magic fairy dust is just gonna, happen? And I'm like, oh man, okay, well here we go. Let's get it going. So yeah, I'm looking forward to 2026 building with all you guys, and I'm thankful that we have a team. And it's not easy being on these trainings, getting up early in the morning. So yeah, good job to everyone, and let's keep it going.
Awesome, brother. Well, that's congratulations. I'm excited about that and your journey. And we're going to talk about again the strategy, how to put it all together here in just a second. One of the things that I challenge everybody each week is be intentional about our language, right? The words that we say, how we say it. Say it, words like "I will" versus "I'll try" or "I'm going to." And the only reason that I point those things out, I catch myself throughout the week saying those things, is because those are programming words, right? We know the subconscious mind. Now with again, math and science has proven that it is a computer. It's the world's most advanced computer. When something comes out of our mouth, it's the code writer who's in charge, right? That writes the code is us. And the language that comes out, that code gets programmed. And that's what the minions who they have one, right? All the subconscious mind is like the world's largest group of little minions. They have no discernment. They don't question anything. They 100% go to work. They don't ask for time off. They don't ask for a raise. They don't ask for the holidays. They don't ask for food or water. It just the subconscious mind minions just work. And what we've learned over time, the seminars I've been to, the books, and what I've learned from other mentors is that it's the language is part of that recipe of why people today don't do what they said they were going to do, right? And so we're going to unpack that together. So I'm excited. This is going to be if you make a decision and you affirm it, this will be the best year ever of your life. And nothing magically happened yesterday at December 31st at 12:01. Right? No magic sprinkle fairy dust is going to happen to any of us just because the clock turned over. But we have the ability to literally crush it this year. We have the ability to do it based on number one, our language, a system, a plan, and then obviously the discipline. So awesome job, boss. We're looking forward to it, brother. All right. Do we miss anybody?
You'll see Sheree posted something.
Oh yeah, she posted. Let me go here. Let's see what's in the chat. She's reading the 12-year sobriety results for reading from them. It works. That's what started it all. They'll call me out when I said I was not a morning person. Thank you. You're absolutely welcome. Again, language, right? We just talked about that language, right? It's what the isn't it amazing that the mouth is the script writer, right? So everybody, right? I know Oscar knows how to do some programming stuff. Dr. Crane learned some programming. We know that like a programmer programs a computer. The giant computer gets programmed by this. So as stuff comes out of here, it's telling the subconscious mind, go do this. Literally, this is what we found out with the neural mapping, with the neuroscience neural mapping, that if you told yourself, you put on your, well, again, we don't believe in New Year's resolution, but if you wrote a declaration, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, and you even got specific, I'm going to lose 20 pounds by March 30th, say March 15th, I'm going to lose 30 pounds, and I'm going to do this and this and this. And then you don't do it. Guess what? The subconscious mind is still trying to solve. It's still trying to solve that even though you're not consciously doing it anymore because you got off track with your routine, the subconscious mind, it never turns off. It never forgets, ever. So when we say stuff good and bad, you got many of you guys know a gentleman by the name of Ben James. He was always say, "What comes out of your boca grande?" Right, our big mouth. So we have to be very careful about the language. We're just starting to understand that as human beings, this language, this whole scripting, right? And how the spoken word, how powerful it is. But it's not something new. It says it in scripture, right? I'm looking, I got my Bible right here. It's right here in scripture, right? The power of the spoken word. And in a lot of cases can be more powerful than the sword. So for our purposes here today, I want to challenge everybody. Let's be crystal clear on our language